Xbox, man. We we got to talk, and it's not even bad, man. I feel like they did good with this one, man. You guys know me too. If I didn't like something, I would tell you. Events is something that I look forward to myself watching. Unfortunately, because I'm traveling right now, as you can see, I'm not in my normal environment. I had to wait to watch it till I got home, but I ended up watching it over there in New York. Right now, I'm recording this in Cog's place. And I wanted to make this video because I noticed something has changed throughout the couple months over there at Xbox. You know, let's talk about Game Pass a little bit. I felt like when Game Pass was first announced, they had a lot of, aggressiveness when it come to marketing Game Pass, when it come to doing anything with Game Pass. And I feel like a lot of that was essentially, what's what I'm looking for? It was a lot of marketing, and it was like so many games of it. Like, if you guys remember correctly, when they were first doing Game Pass, it was essentially like everything in this event is in Game Pass. Everything you see is in Game Pass. This location that we're recording this from, that's also in Game Pass. It just felt like they put so much more money and effort behind everything at these events, every announcement. Something was always linked to Game Pass, and I felt like for a little bit there, they kind of went away from that. Like, not necessarily in a bad way, but it did feel like they were leaning more towards their stuff and not necessarily stuff that belonged to other people, which I'm very open for. Always invest into yourself. These other companies can choose one day not to work with you anymore. You always want to invest into yourself. That's why when they were buying these publishers and these developers, I was for it, because I would prefer them to put money behind themselves than to go and risk on a relationship with Sega or Square Enix or Ubisoft or EA, because these companies at any time can decide they want to make their own, type of models such as Game Pass. So I always felt like that was the right decision, but you need to have like a balance. Like, you can't just completely cut cold turkey with like third party support. Now, I'm not saying they put a lot of indies in Game Pass, and a lot of good indies, but it did feel like the bigger games, they were kind of lacking a little bit. Not necessarily a lot. Game Pass still had a lot going for it, even till this now. But it did feel like at these past events, like Tokyo Game Show, the anything that wasn't there wasn't essentially in Game Pass. It was just certain things was in Game Pass, certain things wasn't. And it did feel like the first couple years of Game Pass's existence, these events was pretty much built around Game Pass, which kind of makes me feel like maybe there was some marketing that was going on there. It's like, look, if you want us to market your game, give you all this money, we need that Game Pass. We need it. That is one of the things that we're marketing heavily right now. And if we can't get that, then we're not going to really, pursue this type of marketing. I don't know if that was happening, but it is interesting that certain games wouldn't be in Game Pass and certain games would. So let's pop over here and look at this event. Now, this was, I think, 15 games, and there was essentially a lot of games in Game Pass in this. So let's go over it, man. So we got the Alan Wake 2 Lake House DLC for terrifying Alan Wake 2. I'm not the biggest fan of these type of games. These games don't really do nothing for me, because I don't like the games that are designed to creep you out or scare you. It's not that I couldn't play it. It's just Alan Wake 2 is not my thing. People are trying to bully me into playing Silent Hill 2, which that might work before I play Alan Wake 2. I'm going to be honest with you. Chronos: The New Dawn. This is made by Blooper Team. Now, obviously, they just made Silent Hill 2, and I would say that a lot of good stuff is going on with them right now. Because of the success that Silent Hill 2 had, I would honestly say that this game could sell just off that name. Maybe not in masses, but do better than their previous works. But if this Chronos: The New Dawn game isn't good, it's going to really hurt them, because I feel like they have all this hype going on that this is the perfect time to capitalize on that. So we'll see how that happens. I hope it works out good for them, man. I hope it works out really good for them. I do think that this is going to be an interesting thing. It will be in the Xbox Partner preview, which I'm okay with stuff like this. I know a lot of people aren't, but to me, I would prefer. Look, if you don't feel like your game's either not going to have content or maybe it's not going to work correctly out the gate, utilize this program, devs, because you're going to get the point across. This isn't the final build of the game, but we want to build the game with you. I feel like more developers don't use this program like they should. Blind Fire. Blind Fire is a new first person. It's already available in access. You know, it is interesting that we are seeing a lot more people use this type of thing. But I'm very curious to see how this game did. This game didn't really essentially like look the greatest to me, but I'm not going to say like it was bad or anything. It didn't like, it wasn't really giving the vibes that I would play. You know, and it's not necessarily a game that I wouldn't try out, but it's definitely not giving a vibe of something that I would play. Then we got the Like a Dragon DLC. Now I like the turn-based Like a Dragon. This didn't look turn-based. You know, it's definitely, you know, combat focused. I saw people making fun of it, saying this was better than Skull and Bones. I think, you know, if you enjoy these type of games, you might enjoy this. I don't necessarily know what this is going to do in the long run of things, but I am excited. I'm excited to look into it. I don't know if I'll be playing that game. I still got to go back and play the Like a Dragon game that we're doing right now, Like a Dragon on Infinite Wealth. I still got to go back to that game. Then we got Mouse PI for Hire. Look like a very unique type of, yeah, kind of like a Mickey Mouse thing got going on for it a little bit. You know, it was interesting, man. It was interesting. And I'm excited to try out these newer games because I do appreciate that they get these opportunities to show you these. And then we got this Subnautica 2. Believe it or not, this Subnautica 2 is a huge game. Like, this is such a big streaming game, it's unreal. It's a huge streaming game. And it's a big W that they're able to get this game. It will be in early access, coming to Game Pass 2025, and you can wishlist it today on Steam. Like I said, don't sleep on that game, guys. Don't sleep on that game. Animal Well. Animal Well is interesting. This is one of the games that isn't coming to Game Pass. It's Donkey's game. Now, I know a lot of people used to clown on whether or not Donkey should be, you know, making games or not, or not necessarily making games. He just publishes the game. I think people like Donkey are the best people to be doing this. You know, clearly there's bias going on, but dude's been reviewing games for a long time, been playing games for a long time. I would trust his opinion on a game like this more than I would trust some of these other, you know, people that's in the media. It's kind of interesting that the media could do it, but for some reason influencers can't. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, you know, have caution, especially an influencer talking about a game that he's directly publishing. But let's not automatically go and say that it's going to be like a bad scenario type of thing. This game looked interesting. I wouldn't play this, but it did give me like huge anime vibes. And what I enjoy about it is just the different type of, you know, type of gameplay you could have. It did seem like it was heavily inspired by like a lot of key animes that's going on right now. So that's interesting. Eden Zero by Konami, nonetheless, by Konami. Then we got this Internal Strands. You know, look at the way the game looks. Like, you know, I really like when games, the particle effects and stuff look really good. I think it looks pretty solid. Eternal Strands coming out 2025, Game Pass, Xbox Series X and X. Definitely looks like it's one of those games that's going to be interesting for a lot of people. Mistfall Hunter. This game actually looked interesting. I'm kind of curious how well this game's going to do when it actually comes out. Now, I am getting a little burnt out on these type of games, though. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's not that it's bad. It's just I think these days, like, I wouldn't say this is a Souls-like game, but, like, the Souls-like combat, you know, heavily modified. But I know a lot of people love these type of games. And I think you guys are going to really, you know, push past it, man. You're going to push past it. It's coming 2025. Xbox Series X and X. This isn't a Game Pass type of game. But wouldn't surprise me if that game gets put in Game Pass eventually. Will World. I ain't gonna lie. I don't play these type of games. But this looked interesting to me to the point where I actually might give this game a shot. Probably won't play it long. Probably drop it real fast. But it did look interesting. It looked interesting nonetheless. 2025 Game Pass. You know, if you guys like these kind of racing games, I think you guys might enjoy that game. This game here, I'm not going to lie. Up until now, it's been just PC, but it's like kind of like a horror experience with your friends. This is big. This is big to get this game. I think a lot of people aren't going to understand, especially if you're not in that scene. This is probably one of the biggest streaming games that was out for a long time. I think people would enjoy this game. So, you know, hopefully you guys, you know, really support this game. Interesting, it didn't come with a Game Pass. You know, I think mainly the biggest games had Game Pass. And it's usually the smallest games are Game Pass, but the bigger games doesn't. We got the Legends and Bamboo. I must have missed this one because I don't remember this announcement. Kind of gives me like a Kena vibes a little bit. Looks a little bit like Kena. Very curious to see it though. It's Midway Games. And then you got your one and only Wuchong. Now, this is a Game Pass game, which is interesting, but it looks really good. Once again, though, I'm kind of like OD'd a little bit on just the type of, you know, From Software type of games. I'm not saying this is a From Software type of game. I'm just saying it does, you know, kind of resemble a little bit. I'll probably try it out. But, you know, there were so many good games that came out this event. And then we got this fire break, man. I don't know why Remedy's making a multiplayer game. I'm with it. I'll try it out. You know, Game Pass, Xbox Series S and X. I think the biggest thing when it comes down to it, man, is I like that a lot of these games were dedicated to Game Pass. A lot of the games look good. We had some big games that was Game Pass games. Like, this was a solid show, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Is there any particular announcement that you like more than the others? I'm kind of curious your guys' opinion on that. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button. It's always appreciated. You can always sub to the channel. We make weekly content over there. Even when I'm traveling to damn New York, we still make content. Follow me on Twitter at LordAddictILP. And you guys can follow my Addict Arena thing at the bottom, man. Yeah, all that's in the description below. I'll be starting that again here soon. But, guys, have a nice day. Peace.